Hi guys, can you alter my screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Christopher.
Today I have the opportunity to talk about The Little Prince, a really amazing book. And I hope that after you listen to my explanation, you read it because it's really, really amazing. So, uh, okay, so first, I'm going to begin by explaining the personality and some things about the protagonist, the little prince. Well, he's from another planet, a really, really small planet, and he takes care of a flower and three volcanoes. One of that volcano doesn't work, but he is still taking care of that. And he needs a ship that eats baboons, which are dangerous for his planet. As you can see in the image, there are big trees that can really hurt his planet. If he hadn't cleaned up his planet, the baboons would have destroyed his house. So he has to be very careful. And his planet called asteroid B612 was discovered by an astronomer who was judged by his clothes. As you can see in the image, uh, he discovered the asteroid, but no one paid attention to him because of his clothes. But when he changed his clothes, uh, everyone appreciated his research. So if he hadn't changed his clothes, he wouldn't have been um, he wouldn't have been I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, if he hadn't changed his clothes, no one wouldn't have pay attention to his work. So, and another thing about the Dear Prince is that for the Dear Prince, the grown-ups are weird, or the adults. And I have to be honest. For me, the Little Prince was a really annoying character, because he made a lot of questions during the story, and he was really annoyed. So if I had been the writer, I would have written a better character. So yeah. Okay, now we are going to look at the adventure of the Little Prince. He met a lot of people, a lot of grown-ups or adults, but they are really, really weird or with really, really weird character traits. So first we have the king. The little prince met the king, and the king wanted to feel power, even if he didn't have anyone to give them orders. That was really, really funny because he wanted to give orders, he wanted to show his power, he wanted to have a lot of servants, a lot of people who work for him, but in his planet, he was the only man. So it was a little ridiculous. But that happened in real life. Some people want to show the power, but it's illogical because you are just a human like everyone. So yeah. Then we have the consented man who was really vain. He want to show that he was perfect, and he want attention. He want to be adored. But the little prince didn't understand why he wanted to be adored. He asking, okay, you want to be adored, you want attention, but after you receive that attention and love and admiration, what uh, would you do with that attention? And the consent man didn't know what to answer. So yeah, it was very logical that he want attention, and this happens in real life very, very often. There are a lot of people that want attention on social media. He wish no they wish they had a lot of likes on their post, but after you receive a lot of likes, what would you do? it's that's something a little ridiculous. Then we have the Tippler. For me, this character gave us a really good lesson. Uh, the Typer was a man who always drank alcohol, but he was in an eternal loop because he was embarrassed. And because he was embarrassed, he drank alcohol. And he drank alcohol, yeah, because he was embarrassed. But can you guess why he was embarrassed? Yeah, he was embarrassed because he drinks alcohol. It was a complete loop. And that happened sometimes in real life. For example, when you didn't know how to beat or affairs, or we don't know how to overcome the things that happen in your life, but or maybe we know what we prefer or comfort zone. So yeah. Then we have the businessman. The businessman was counting the stars in the universe, and he thought that he was the owner of all the stars in the universe, but he wasn't able to use them. So it was illogical that he wastes his time counting the stars because he can't use them. Uh, yeah, that happens sometimes when we believe that we have a lot of things, but if we can enjoy the things because we prefer to work or we don't spend time with your family, it's a little illogical. Yeah. Then we have the lamp liar. The lamp liar was in the next planet, and he had a really exhausting job because he had to turn off the light and turn off the light every day. He can't rest. He just followed the orders without knowing the reasons. When the little prince asked, him, why do you turn on and turn off the lamp? He didn't know what to understand, and he just said, "It's the orders. It's the orders." But he didn't know why. That then that happens sometimes. We don't question the things that are around us, and we have to make a lot of questions. We have to ask questions every time. Um, we have the geographer. The sixth planet was inhabited by the geographer, and he knows a lot about other planets, but he doesn't know anything about his own planet. That's really interesting because the geographer has a lot of knowledge, but he didn't know nothing. He didn't know anything about his own planet because he doesn't have time. This is similar to the accountant. And then we have the fox. The fox explained to him, to the little prince, the concept of tamed, because but what was tamed? The fox said there are millions and millions of flowers in the world, or if you choose one, that flower is going to be not just a flower, it's going to be the flower. So yeah, and that's happening with humans. There are millions of humans here in the planet, but if we choose one to be your friend or classmate or your couple, that person is going to be the person, not just a person. Finally, the little prince understood and returned to his planet to take care of his flower because he has a flower, but the flower was really bent. But the little prince understand that even if the flower was bent, selfish, it was the flower for him. Okay, and now I'm going to talk about important concepts that we can encounter in the story. First, we have love, the love that the little prince had with the flower. Disappointed because for the little prince, the grown-ups or the adults were little weird. And the creativity. In the story, the little prince loved the creativity. He felt a little disappointed when the grown-ups are really great. They have a really great mind. So I hope you never lose your young thought and you being really creative in the future. So I don't know if you have some comment or question.
Yeah, I really like the how you explain the book, because every like character that you mentioned, uh, for me it was like a representation of maybe our behaviors in real life. So um it's like um I I was like, I understand when you say like that these characters are part of the story for some reason, because just like the like the astrologist, he knows a lot about the external world, but he doesn't know about his own world. So it's like, maybe for me was a representation that maybe there are some people that wanted to know others, but they doesn't know themselves. They don't know themselves. So yeah, it was really interesting, all these characters, and how for me I think it was like a representation of some people in the real life. So yeah, I really like the slides and the like the stylish like book presentation. So yeah.
Thanks for your comment, Fernando.
Yeah, Christopher, you took me back to my childhood. I mean, The Little Prince is such a great story, and definitely how you explained that was like amazing. That, and with the slides, that was like something like very interesting. Like it's a creative way to explain that book, but I think that is great because like the story is like that. I mean, it's something that I don't know, but when you say like The Little Prince, everyone know like what are you talking about, because it's like a great story and you understand like the meaning of the story. Because I remember that when I was a child and I read this book, I didn't understand like the real meaning of the characters, because as you said, there's like a reason for that characters. But when you're like a kid, you don't understand why. I mean, there are like the meaning is so deep, so you can understand. But then that you are like an adult, you understand like, oh, I know now why the character is there. I mean, it's something interesting, and you explained so well like the book. So yeah, congratulations for that.
Okay, thanks. And I just conclude by saying that I wish you apply the information that I share in your real life. And thanks for your attention and your time. And I hope you enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher.